Welcome to the Barter Edge Podcast, your insider guide to smarter business, bigger networks, and better ways to trade. We're here to share real stories, expert tips from different industries, and fresh ideas to help you grow your business using the power of Bartercard. Well, welcome back to the Barter Edge, the one and only podcast from Bartercard, where we help businesses do better business. Pretty much. Today I'm here with a very, very special guest that I know is going to add a lot of value to all of our listeners. And we have Tony, who has been a Bartercard client since 2016, and he's the director of OHRS, which is an offshore outsourcing company based in the Philippines. Tony, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your journey with Bartercard?
Well, first, Jen, thanks for having me on your show. Much appreciated. So the Bartercard journey started back in 2016, but really sort of kicked off in 2017 when we opened the operation up. And it's been great for us because we've attracted a lot of new clients and we tapped into a base of clients which you wouldn't normally have access to. And they in turn have also recommended us to some of their cash friends. So it's been great for us.
That's amazing to hear. So in your opinion, Tony, what would be the most valuable part of being a Bartercard member for OHRS?
I think, as I mentioned, I think it would be tapping into a database of people we wouldn't normally have access to. I think that's the biggest advantage of it. And yeah, it's been great. So we've been able to get a lot of clients through Bartercard. And yeah, here we are today.
Fantastic. What makes OHRS so different to other outsourcing companies?
Firstly, we're not a call center, so we're not one of those annoying people that ring you up and tell you your bill's late. We provide professionals that work for Australian businesses. And by professionals, I mean bookkeepers, accountants, graphic designers, social media, personal assistants. And they all have a degree in their relative field. And the other thing is that I'm on site as well. So you've got an Australian actually on site, which actually is very good for the clients. They like to know that it's actually run by Australians. We've got the Australian culture here as well. We've introduced things like, drinks on Fridays, dress down on Fridays. We celebrate birthdays and, so we have a bit of both worlds here. We've got the Philippine culture and the Australian culture mixed together.
That's fantastic. And the way that you work as well, having a full-timer as like assistant with you to help with variable parts of the business, having that one person and knowing that they're working just for you has so many different benefits as well, but also things like the firewalling and making sure the data is safe and the internet connection is strong. And I know for myself, I went out on my own and got myself an offshore VA, and it was one of those things that I didn't know exactly how much work they were doing for me, how long things were taking, and it was really hard to track. So do you find that a lot of your clients comment on that sort of thing as well, and having that as an advantage of using OHRS?
Absolutely. We've had a lot of clients were trying the work from home thing, obviously, because it's a little bit cheaper. The challenge with that is that are you the only account they're working on, or are they working on 3 other accounts? The home internet's usually not fairly solid here in the Philippines. Whereas in an office environment like ours, we've got fiber optics connections to the office. So we have a dedicated IP address to heighten the security, as well as firewalls, as you mentioned earlier. Yeah, but the working from home thing, you've got your data's not really protected either. Like, how many other people are using that computer that they're working on? Whereas here, it's one PC, one person. So the data is protected. Plus, we have strict rules and regulations against bringing in devices, and telephones are kept in the lockers and things like that. So there's a lot more protection. Plus, we monitor when they're starting work, when they're finishing work, their lunch breaks, their little breaks that they have, so that you get the best out of your offshore person.
That's so amazing and such a value add for Australian businesses to have someone offshore that's protected as well, and also with that great working environment. So what are some of the most strategic or innovative ways that you've been able to utilize some of your trade dollars to improve the business or your lifestyle, Tony?
We use our trade dollars mostly in Australia. So we have an office in Burleigh Heads as well. And so the trade dollars that we've earned, they've been able to use it for things like, well, we were actually able to buy corporate shirts actually using trade dollars, which we then sent over to the Philippines. We needed a debt collector one time, which we actually was able to do on barter, which is great. And then we got other things done, like we did printing. We use accommodation when we go over to Australia. We also use it locally for wining and dining potential clients. So, yeah, there's quite a lot of ways you can use your trade dollars if you put your mind to it.
Fantastic. Now, from your experience in offshore outsourcing, what trends or opportunities should business owners be paying attention to right now?
I guess the one that I'm hearing from our partners in Australia is that it's getting harder to find really good qualified staff that are going to stick around and they're dedicated. I had a bit of a story. One of my clients in Melbourne actually, he was advertising for a job which was worth $50,000 on a good day. And then he was getting applicants in. Now, the people that were applying for the job were qualified to do the $50,000 a job, but they were asking for $75,000.
Mm.
That makes it a little bit of a tough market, especially when businesses are experiencing a little bit of a pinch at the moment. So when you're offshore, one of the biggest advantages is it costs you around about one third of what you would pay someone in Australia.
Yeah, wow. So keeping a lot more cash back in the business
Hmm.
by utilizing people and, having qualified offshore assistants as well makes a huge difference. And, you're the one who's doing the interviews and setting up the right person for the right job as well. So there's so many amazing value adds that you do offer with OHRS. Now, you've got a lot of stories on how you've been able to help businesses grow. Tony, I would love to hear one of your stories that from a client that you're working with at the moment.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody loves the big clients, of course, because that's where the money is. But what I really like is helping the small to medium-sized businesses be successful. So I think probably around mid last year, we had a client come to us who's got a kitchen cabinet making business, and they have two models. You can walk in and buy a cabinet and install it yourself, or you can give them the plans and they will draw them up and then they will create the kitchen for you. So he started off, he needed help with his website and social media and things like that. So we ended up helping with the marketing side of the business. And then a little bit later on, he was growing so much he needed help. And so he put on a full-time personal assistant. And then only a couple of months earlier, he's now put his second full-time person on, and that's a CAD operator. So what was happening is that the guy was actually working in the shop all day, and then he was going at home and he was drawing up all of the kitchen designs and the cabinet designs. So he didn't have a lot of time for the family. So now he's put the CAD operator on. He does all the CAD drawings during the daytime, which frees up his time at night so he can spend more time with the family. So, but also just watching him grow the business and we're there alongside him, helping him is really rewarding.
Yeah, that's an amazing, amazing outcome for him. And I'm sure that there are a lot of business owners that'll listen to this and go, yeah, I am working all day on the tools, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'm going home and doing administration or whatever it is that's taking them away from living the lifestyle that they wanted. And I think we all get into business in the first place for flexibility and
Yeah.
growth, but it's hard to get that flexibility working for yourself unless you have the right support around you. Would you agree with that, Tony?
Yeah, absolutely. You need to have good support. And by putting somebody on offshore, it frees up your time so you can focus on income generating, networking, building the business up from the front end while people are working on the back end.
Well, we absolutely love having you as a Bartercard member, Tony, with the amazing service that you're able to provide to help our clients grow their businesses. What would you say to a business owner that was considering joining Bartercard? What would be your encouragement or advice for them?
Well, there's no harm in trying it, right? So it's like anything, you're going to get out of it as much as you put into it. So give it a go, because everybody else at the moment is just restricted to the cash economy, which is
Mm,
your cash or credit cards or bank transfers. So Bartercard gives you access to a new pool of clients which you wouldn't normally have access to, that all want to trade. So they're like-minded thinkers, and it's a little bit reverse to the cash economy. In the cash economy, it's very easy to spend your money. You can go to any shop and spend your money. But the hard part is getting that business in. Whereas with the
yeah.
barter model, it's a little bit reverse. Whereas, you've got clients sitting there waiting to use their trade dollars and trade with you. So then you just need to put a little bit of effort into spending your trade dollars. And to do that, my biggest advice is to develop a relationship with your account manager, stay in touch with them, and just every time you have an expense coming up, ask them if they can help. That's it.
Absolutely. Our account managers are absolutely incredible. We will
Mm.
be hearing from some of them in future episodes. But Tony, thank you for spending some time and sharing some wisdom with all of our listeners today.
No worries. Thank you, Jen, for having me again. It was really a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today and sharing your stories and expertise. If you want to find out how Bartercard can help your business, or if you want to be a guest on our future podcasts, contact our team at hello@bartercard.com. Make sure you tune in for our next episode of the Barter Edge.